Hey yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back everybody to this episode of World of Tanks, and it is me, moi, Guido1212 from GFLC Clan, Guido's Flying Circus, by the way. Kanonen Jagdpanzer 105. The Kanonen Jagdpanzer used to be the 90, but they upgraded it, and now there's a version with the 105, and this is a really, really good TD. For a casemate TD, this is one of the best out there. A Tier 8 premium German TD with a great gun and a lot of mobility. Very nice. We are here in Lakeville, and we're going to talk about reading the battle, which a lot of times all of us, community contributors and content creators and people who try to teach people how to play the game, say a lot of esoteric things like you've got to read the battle, right? You want to react to the battle, you want to look at the lineup and make your decisions appropriately, but rarely do we give very good concrete advice or examples. So we're going to look at this one because it's kind of a weird one. We look at the setup, I'm top tier, so that's very good, all right? So right off the bat, it's going to give me, the first thing I see when I see this, I see I'm top tier, it's going to make me have a little bit more of a permissive environment, provided I can create the conditions to move around, okay? Or if I'm careful. So right off the bat, I go, okay, I am one of the alpha tanks here. Number two, I look at it and go, wow, there's a lot of TDs. What comes along with TDs usually? Camping or careful gameplay. The enemy team has two glass TDs, the Sioux and the Scorpion. That's going to make them even more careful, at least as an assumption. The Hellcat, the same. The JPZ is a low tier. What else do we have over there? We got a prototype. That's more like a heavy. I would expect him to potentially play that like a heavy. It's got good armor. It's also got good gun depression. Think about where you would go with good front armor and good gun depression. We'll just leave it at that. The Oni is trouble. The Oni, if he's got the big HE gun, or even just the fact that he's got such good armor, even for a Tier 7, he's one of the biggest worries out there. Obviously, the IS is a good tank as well. Can hit me for a lot of damage. I can only take 3 IS hits and maybe 2 Oni hits, 3 at the most. The other thing they've got is a T-54 Mod 1. Although I look at this and I go, wow, we're both sitting with mediums and TDs at top. And then some cats and dogs, a couple decent heavies in the middle, sort of. We have a 45 TP and a Leo, whereas they have an IS and an Oni. And then quite a few scouts and small stuff. Excuse me. And then 3 artillery, which I have to take into account when I'm driving this tank because it doesn't have a lot of armor. So as I took all of that in, I went, okay, I expect a good number of their big guns to be further back, a little bit permissive. I expect I'm going to see some scouts and lighter tanks on the middle road. So I probably don't want to go hang out on the middle road and maybe get lit up. Not a great idea, plus 3 artillery. So I'm actually going to head back this way. And I look at this and go, I don't think there's going to push a big push into town. Now, if they come to town with a Scorpion, a Sioux, a Mod 1, a T-28, an IS, and an Oni, we're probably in trouble because more than likely my team's not going to do the same thing. But right now I'm assessing what my team is doing. So I'm looking around and saying, all right, what is everyone doing? What is everyone doing? And I'm not going to rage into town, even though I think I'm probably going to have an advantage in there to some extent, even with a casemate TD. We'll get that in just a minute. But I'm going to come out to about here so I can react either way. I can either run back or I can go into town. But I'm not going to go all the way into town because really what I'm curious about is, am I going to get anything here lit up from the 62 and the T40? And then I'm noticing my Tier 8 my Tier 8 medium has gone into the valley. That's not good. And the RHM is backing him up. Then goes the Leo, and everyone else is behind me. I'm the furthest tank out for the moment. The T45 or the 45 TP will go in. I am watching the EBR. I don't want him to come to the edge of town and light me. That would be very bad to be out in the open, but I see him push back into town, so I'm going to move over this way. I see the prototype. Now that's very important. Notice the prototype's been lit. Their prototype is over there. That's very good. That's one less guy I was worried about coming into town. Now I'm going to come in here and I am spring-loaded to run away, but I also know that this double bush idea is right here, and this tank is a great one for using it because it's not super tall or super wide, and nice low stature. I can come in here and I can kind of watch. And that once I go back and I cannot see through it anymore, I'm double bush. So I'll just creep forward until I can see whatever comes with the intention of not shooting until I back out. Doot, doot, doot. Boom. I'll back out, and I think I get lit anyway. No, I don't get lit there. So the IS gives me that hit. I'm able to trade 417 for nothing. What I am also worried about, though, is being lit from the right, somebody coming up and over that little ridge or pushing enough into the town to see me. and then I can be shot by the guy in the corner there potentially, or by artillery. So we'll just wait here. And again, there's only 2 of us, so I am ready to run. If you look at the setup or look at the deployment, man, a bunch of my guys way in the north, just me and the 45 TP, and I'm expecting the ONI to show up anytime now. Timing's important when you're doing this kind of assessment. Assess how fast things can get there, and I'm thinking that ONI is probably going to show up any moment now. The most likely spot for it to show up is there, so we'll sort of watch this. The 45 TP has gone up, and there he is. Check it out. Now I get a little verklempt there and a bit lucky, but I get that shot into him, and I know I've lit, so I just get out. And I'm sort of challenging the Artie. Look at the IS. The IS is just looking, and I'm going to wait a long time until I know I am not lit. And I see him move out of the way, so that's fine. Perfect. Let's wait and see. And he just makes a really foolish move. He comes out anyway. Not quite, and then just gives me that nice shot, and I shoot him right through. And that time I get lit, which was interesting. Now, I don't know if a little edge of me was seen between the buildings there or what that was, why it was I was lit in the double bush action there, but I was, so I get out. Now I'm watching what's happening over on their cap. Good things are happening. They're making pressure or causing some pressure over there. But I still don't see a couple of their tanks. Right? Where is the T-54? There he is. And I'm going to take a chance here because he's out in the open, and I don't see the ONI, which makes me wonder where he is. He's at least not sitting right on the corner, so I have a couple potatoes. So I'm going to come out, get a shot into this guy, let it zoom in, boom, and then back. And there he is. Cut out and just barely get away from the ONI right there. And now they're beating up on the Mod 1. So I've got to wait. I don't want to drive right out and telegraph it, but I am interested in hitting this ONI, and I've gone to heat to do so because this is now a critical phase right here. I really need to put damage on this guy. We'll back out. He was aimed in, and I'm able to just barely catch one on the track, no problem. I know he's got a long reload. I come around, down he goes anyway, and I'll back out. And we're looking in pretty good shape. There's the JPZ-4 on the middle, so I'm going to come over here and see if we can't make him go away. I really don't want him shooting us in the side, and I don't want him getting into our backfield. He's probably not going to last very long, and I turn around here and he doesn't. There he goes. So now I can swing back around, and we're going to take out. And the reason I was also able to do that, there just wasn't any pressure in town, right? Nobody's pushing in on the 45 TP, 3045. I know the prototype's all the way over there. The ONI's the biggest one I'm worried about, and he's down to fairly low hit points. So now I feel like I can take a chance, come across here. The EBR shows up in the middle, so now I'm thinking, all right, now we got to deal with him. And there's the ONI. And I notice the ONI is on the move. And it looks like he might be trying to come down this way. Now, this is important. I don't go so close that I get proxy lit. I stop here, knowing I won't get proxy lit, and I wait for him to cross, and we just take him down. I could see his icon moving from left to right. I stop before he's going to get a proxy light, and I just wait for him to go across that open area and take him down. And now it's just basically all over with the shouting. We need to find that 1375. I would really like him to not be able to get on my side, so we're going to come over here and I'm going to help support hopefully this 3485. I'm really hoping this 3045M can take a chunk of him before he goes down. I sort of expected him to get circled and crushed by the 1375, but the guy didn't do that. So he's being a little more cautious. I'll come up to support him. I got the big cannon. We see the Hummel. Thinking, oh, I'm going to get some Hummel shot. We'll come over here. Nope, guy dies. There's that dude. I don't quite have it. I'll come up and over to the mobility on this thing, and I'm going to just auto-aim this dude. Come down and fire on the run. 45 TP is trying to live. Down goes the 1375, and we'll just swing around here. And I will use this low ground to come up underneath these guys. I was initially just going to come up over and top, but there's two artillery. Yep, there we go. There's one of them. Glad I actually snapped left like that. I'm going to get down into this low area. I was hoping not to get spotted. I think I do, maybe. I don't know. Nope, I don't. So we'll come over here. I've got a little bit of a bush here, but he's going to see me. Look at that. He just sees me come right up and over. Gets a shot on me, but I'll take him down. That's fine. And now we're just chasing into these guys. I've got 3,210. Thank goodness that guy missed me. Pretty sure that was the M44. Yeah, that was the M44 right there. The M12 goes down. The setter goes in to try to take on the M44. And I finish off the M44 in the only appropriate way that there is, by ramming him. 3,298 damage, 4 kills in the Kanonen Jagdpanzer 105. And this one is reading them like a book. Reading them like a book. And hopefully those are some concrete examples of the thought process that goes through a good player's mind on when they look at something like this. Now, clearly permissive, I mentioned it earlier, it's top tier. It's much harder to read it as a bottom tier. As a bottom tier, you're more reading where the support possibilities are for you to go to, who to support and where to go. Top tier, it's more about how do I bring this gun to bear at the critical areas, where do I think the enemy's going, where do they go, and what possibilities are opened up because of that. It was a weird one to begin with, just based on the different tanks that were in there. It was very light with a lot of TDs, so that's going to open up some of the possibilities, and we were able to get in there with some nice work by the T-45, so good job with Super Tarzan with what he did with the T-45, kind of anchoring that push in there and allowing me to get some sneaky shots in on people while they were attempting to peel him out of the general area there. The good news is the enemy didn't make a concerted push. If they were in there with maybe a tank or two more and came at us all at once, it wouldn't have lasted very long. But that's part of reading the battle. Is I noticed that was not happening, and I was able to be very careful, pick my shots, and take these guys down. All right, thanks for tuning in, man. I hope you all learned something there. If you did, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And as always, we will see you.